Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am a little bit early tonight, about 10 minutes early, but I wanted to finish my tea off, and I was here. I wasn't doing a lot. I was kind of sat in the office, so I thought, well, do you know what? I might as well just go live and kind of, just get on with life, all right? But anyway, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. I hope you've been managing to kind of stick true to these markets. Obviously, we talked a little bit yesterday about sometimes, when everyone expects the market to go one way, it just has this nasty habit of coming back and biting you in the bum. And it feels a little bit like we've done that. Now, there is a couple of reasons why we've seen a bit of sell-off, profit-taking, repositioning of capital, blah, blah, blah. All that kind of traditional stuff that we generally see in this market. But at the same time, there is always optimism whenever there is negativity. And I certainly believe in the optimism side of things more than anything. So we'll talk about what's going on. Again, if you haven't, or you're brand new to this channel, by the way, or you're watching this on a recap, like what are you doing in real life? Make sure you come into the live. Everything's kind of playing out sort of as we were expecting, or certainly what we've been analyzing over the last, I'm going to say like a couple of weeks. Certainly over the last couple of weeks anyway. We'll touch on some charts. We'll get into a little bit of technicals and all that kind of stuff. But pretty much on the money, what we expected to happen is sort of happening. And, in that view, in my head, it's kind of like, well, great news. All right, we'll kind of get into what we need to get into and much, much more. So do me a quick favor, smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high. That would be greatly appreciated. Like I said, if you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well. I think that's a good news story for everybody. And likewise, if you're here on TikTok, give us a couple of taps on the screen and let me know that you are here. So yeah, hopefully we get a few people in here. Hopefully it starts to get a trend. There's 7 people in here, which is wild. I'm normally used to a few more than 7, but it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. It is what it is. Don't get hung up on your view counts, all that stuff. You get hung up on view counts, you end up putting bad content out. See, some people are treating today like it's a relief rally and taking profits. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we're going to dive into maybe why that's not the best strategy. Equally at the same time, look, profits are profits. And if you can get some, then take them. That's my opinion. But with that being said, everybody, let's bring up the charts. Let's talk about what's going on. And let's just kind of hang out. Let's have some fun. Let's hopefully have a good stream. All right, I'm excited about it. I think everyone has given up on the markets. I think you're probably right. And that's the time when markets will make fools of people. In my opinion, by the way. In my opinion. Yeah, I'm a little bit early. I'm not super early, though. I'm like 9 minutes early. That's not that early. It's a little bit early, but yeah. 7's a lucky number. Let's get it. Let's get it. So here we go. Look, here's Bitcoin right now. You guys, obviously, yesterday were like, 2-bit, I want to see it. The only problem is I don't have my other phone this evening. So you will have to bear with me because I can't then see your comments. All right. So I apologize. It is what it is. But there you go. You guys can see the charts now. Let me just reposition you guys a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Perfectamundo. Okay. So what you've got here is we did actually get a pretty heavy sell-off today. Now, there's a number of reasons why. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Obviously, everyone's going down the narrative of, oh, it's a liquidity squeeze, it's manipulation. We'll talk about whether it is or not. And the more and more I dig into this, the more and more I don't believe it's like a deliberate act. Like, it's so crazy. But at the same time, I think it's probably a sleight of hand. I think a little bit. So we'll touch on that. But what we can see here, and obviously this is the move that we got through the weekend. Some really nice movement up here. This is a really good structure. You can see some really key levels here. So just FYI, if you're brand new to the channel, by the way, this big yellow line here, the 20-day exponential moving average. We also have the red line. These are probably your short-term key indicators as to what is price going to do. And then the longer-term ones will be the big pink line, which is the 200 exponential moving average. And this bluish line is the 100-day exponential moving average as well. So the only other one that's probably worth putting on there is the 50-week moving average. Really, if you wanted to look at it to give you a view, but I don't necessarily think it's that great. I actually think exponential moving averages are sort of playing out pretty well for us at the minute. These are kind of holding up certainly where we can see. Well, Craig, stick around. I'm not going to give it away before I've even started the live stream, haven't I? All right, gotta stick around and see what happens, bro. All you need to understand, though, is in 3 days, that's Friday. Bum, bum, bum. What's coming on Friday, Craig? That's what you gotta ask yourself. What's coming on Friday, Craig? And how does today relate to Friday? Oh, what's going on? 2 bits talking in rhymes. We don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be crazy. Oh, no. Anyway, stick around. You'll find out exactly what is happening, all right? Casey, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Welcome in. So, what's important to reference here, by the way, on the price of BTC is, yes, we got a pretty heavy dump here. Now, the question you must ask is why, right? Why did we get such a big dump? Sorry, TikTok, my tea's over here, so I just need to kind of yeet my tea over here. But yeah, so the question is why? We'll try and answer that in tonight's live stream. And then the question then is what's going to happen next? And I think, look at this. On the 4-hour candle, and, you know, for many people that maybe it's their first time on the channel, maybe they're looking at this like, oh, it's kind of weird on the, you know, like the TA bit. We absolutely nailed this. Nailed it. I know it wicked down here, but look at the close here in the 4-hour. We nailed this, and then it's gone up to the upper range. So we're pretty much on the money right now in terms of what this is, and we'll talk a bit more about it. When you look at the 1 hour, I mean, call me surprised. So we came down, retested the upper range, would have been a very interesting point to look for a trade. Then we got rejected, came all the way back down. This is the important one, this candle here, right? This candle is the one we're probably interested in way more than this candle, right? Because this candle is probably profit taking, you know, bring us down to the 50-week moving average, the 50-day EMA, nothing really too crazy. This is the candle we're interested in, right? Why did we get this candle? Which at the same time, the interestingness, if that's even a word, by the way, but the important bit here is look at this candle that's come back up. So this is the downtrend. This is the buy back up. And we'll talk about what this as a macro thing could be. Because if we end the day above this line, 92,634, I'm still bullish on this move, by the way. And I think then we probably still would get some further potential upside moves as well. So all good in my eyes. And we'll talk about a few other bits and pieces when we get on. So really interesting move here on Bitcoin, breaking down underneath this really key sort of support level that we've had. What's also worth noting here, by the way, look at the volume difference. So it was always kind of playing out. So you get this kind of volume lull here, which we sort of, you know, we always knew was going to come over the course of, you know, midweek, the weekend, not doing anything sort of super crazy on the back end of it. And then obviously we see these two volume spikes. So what we can say here is that the two big areas of volume have driven price up, driven price down. Now, obviously you would go, well, that's the most obvious thing you've ever said in your entire life. Again, this aligns to why and what is it that we need to be aware of, okay? So who is it, what are they doing, and why are they doing it? That's the important thing, right? That's the important thing. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting hour or hour and a bit. We'll see kind of where BTC goes. We'll see how it all plays out. I'm looking for a close above this range, this volatile range that we've been talking about as we broke down below the 20-day EMA. So this is definitely going to be something we're going to keep close to, and definitely something that we need to watch over the course of the next hour. Man, I am literally the closest I've ever been to that camera, and somebody is trying to get me to go and stream with them, which is not good. So yeah, which is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. Thanks, Casey. Thank you for sharing it. You're absolute legend. Appreciate that. XRP price predictions. We'll get to that in just a minute, because XRP is definitely holding up better than most. Not quite as good as Algorand, but still. And Ethereum, actually, weirdly enough. Ethereum should tell you once again there's something cooking in the background. So, yeah. What's the box? Good question. I was wondering what you were referring to then. The big orange box on my chart. Let me show you. Let me show you what the magic box is. So we put this on the charts. I'm going to say we've got two, actually. We've got two charts. So we've got the big green box, which is the bull run go or no go line. So you can see here, look, let me just zoom in again. I'm sorry. I have to like put my hands over the top of it. So I apologize. So the big green box at the top is the bull market go or no go. So this is essentially price ranges where we're saying, look, if BTC breaks above these key levels, then this could absolutely indicate that we could see further upside move, and that we could definitely see a reignition of the bull market. The orange one is where I wanted to see a push on this move and actually validate this breakout. So until we sort of broke this, which again is why I'm super chill about this move here right now, like super chill. And when I show you a few bits as well in a minute, you guys hopefully will be like, oh yeah, do you know what? This kind of at the minute plays out okay. Now, FYI, I'm not saying that we can't go to Goblin Town tomorrow and we can't just see a retest down, but what do you look for on breakout moves? Well, we discussed this particular pattern here that plays out. We've discussed this pattern so many times. Again, you get the triple bottom, the downward sloping trend line here that we broke. So we broke this pattern. For me then, this was the really key line that we want to see above the 50-week, above the 50-day EMA. And then obviously we're looking for a retest. And if you look on the hourly, even if you go to the 30-minute, this is played out as really, really important support. And equally has shown that price is prepared to move on these. So that box essentially is where we are expecting some price either holds or support or resistance, okay? And I think if we get some of those, it can kind of give you an idea as to where this market's going to go. Now, by the way, if you're interested, we post all of this sort of stuff in our Discord channel. We've been chatting quite a bit today, actually. And also, we have our premium Discord, which you simply get by becoming a channel member or by getting the whoop.com, look for 2-Bit Cryptos, Alpha Discord. Gives you access to it, as well as our trade bot and everything else. Again, we've got some cool stuff going in there soon. And all the verification system works. So we should not have loads of choppers in there, which is great, by the way, because we're definitely getting a better caliber of individuals. So shout out if you're interested. Check out the link in my bio or grab the description here on YouTube and get over that. So that's in terms of where we sit on price action. And again, we'll see kind of where this goes and how this plays out. I think it's a really important move. What are your thoughts on fundeds? Or funded, oh, right, yeah, funded accounts. I think they're a little bit disingenuous, if I'm honest, because you don't have the same the same application of risk. Now, if you're using a funded account to, for example, show the account, then that's fine. Like, I'm cool with that, and I think that's actually a good idea. And if I think of myself in that situation, and let's say it's a brand new exchange, it's a brand new DEX I've never used, then yeah, if I'm going to talk about it, I feel like you should be in a world of saying, let me go and try and, you know, let me see what it's like. Do I think I should get any money? No. But when you've got people that are showing, oh, well, yeah, I just dropped like a cool 50 Gs on a really shallow trade, you're like, man, it's just not the same. It's not the same. So that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Okay. Shane, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you, man. John Shanks in the building. What's up? Cheese Crypto's in the house. Well, welcome, Cheese. Good to see you. Stanton Fleming's in here. Tony, good afternoon. What's going on, Tony? Welcome in, buddy. Thank you so much, everybody. Feels super slow tonight, so give it a quick thumbs up and yeah, get bullish if you all would. That would be great indeed. Shane, thank you so much. Welcome in. Right, okay, so that's kind of where we sit with Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum, very interesting on Ethereum right now. Lots of very, very good news. It's kind of what I thought was going to play out on the Bitcoin chart. And TikTok, I will bring you guys to back to come and have a look at it, okay? Just so you can see it. But yeah, very, very interesting here on the price action chart, specifically for Ethereum. And in my opinion, actually is telling us a very different story than what we saw with Bitcoin. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. What we got with Ethereum is, again, this bounce off this lower range. We haven't touched these support, we haven't touched these lines now for what, 2 months? Maybe 3 months? Like, it's definitely a while that we've had these key lines on here. But the difference with Ethereum is we got a retest on the 20-day exponential moving average on the 3rd of Jan. This was part of the bigger move that we saw. What's interesting is Ethereum has continued to move and actually has showed some significant support here off the 50-day EMA. Now, the only slightly bearish sentiment, I guess, if you want one, would be on the touch point here on the 100-day exponential moving average. We actually got rejected at this line, 33.10, with a then pull back right the way down. We could see ETH drop back to around 3,200 flat maybe, but actually this is kind of a nice little breakout here on ETH. The other thing, as much as this pattern is sort of playing out, this is unfortunately a slightly bearish view of where Ethereum is, for example. So, oh man, what's it doing? Why is it doing that? So if you were to take the, if ETH is still in a macro downtrend, but I think the broader market is, by the way. And I was saying that, I haven't bought anything other than a couple of meme coin players, which hopefully you guys saw one of the videos I put out and maybe you decided to get into it. I don't know. It's done a 5x already. So if you didn't, then unlucky, but yeah, that's turned out to be pretty nice. And looks like it's want to push a little bit more as well, which is kind of cool. So yeah, ETH I think is macro bearish, short-term bullish, all right? And I think that's a good sort of play to be at with ETH. Also, if you look at this in terms of where the fib sits, and we've sort of been discussing a couple of these, you get a really interesting correlation here on some of these important lines. So look at this on the Fibonacci as an example. Oh my, come on, 2-bit, sort your life out. 1 second. Let me delete that. Really interesting. Look at this. Retest on the 0.53186, bounced, but rejected at the 618. So some really, really key important lines here. Bull run for the real just started. Well, I mean, look, my bull market go or no go line, we haven't hit yet. Lower range, 99K. I'll start to be in a way more bullish frame of mind if we get up to that level. But ETH, in my opinion, is playing out very, very obviously in the broader markets, and Solana having a decent run as well. And that should tell you something. If you've got Ethereum running and Solana running in a broader... Oh my God, I keep putting my face really close to this screen. I'm sorry, TikTok. I'm sorry. if you've got ETH moving and Solana moving, then these are going to be really, really interesting points. A couple of other altcoins to think. Jasmy is on the freaking move, baby. We were talking about Jasmy, and guess what, everybody? It broke the lower trend line. Let's get it. Jasmy looking pretty optimistic right now. Nice pump here. 22.83% on the day. If you're in Jasmy, you've been holding Jasmy. Grats. Enjoy it. Nice little move here. Watch out for a pullback to around, 8.5 if the market sticks with us. I do think we'll probably see a cool off on Jasmy, but hey, 22.5%. We'll take that move today. Again, shout out to all of those holding Jasmy down. And then a couple of other ones. Fetch AI looking pretty solid. Jupiter, XCN on a big sell-off. Watch out for this. We touched on this yesterday. Did 100% gain nearly. And then all came flying back down. So watch out on XCN. This feels like a, let's call it a very obvious market move. Let's call it that, right? Let's call it that. I think that's a fair way to call it. 56 million XRP ETFs. Wow, yeah, they did 66 million yesterday. Someone put in my comments, I put a video out earlier on, someone commented, they said, oh, here he is. No wonder the market's dumped. 2bits put a video out talking about how bullish XRP is. He literally talks about ETFs. Like, they're the most bullish thing XRP's got right now. Anyway, XCM looking pretty good as well. The broader market with holding up, definitely could be some opportunities here on a few of the meme coins. We'll put some analysis out into the Discord on just a couple of things I'm watching that we might get some nice breakouts. Pengu definitely being one of them. Broke above the 50-day exponential moving average and actually looks like it could come down. You want to create maybe a momentum trade-off here at 167. That could be pretty interesting. Likewise, there's a couple of other coins out there. So, yeah, don't miss on that, by the way. It is totally free, by the way, to get into our Discord. If you want to get a little bit more access to some of the premium features, then it is obviously a few bucks to get involved in, but definitely check it out. Okay, good. Right, that sort of takes us through a little bit. I can't find what I'm looking for, which is here. There we go. Perfect. Don't forget, if you do want to trade these markets, all right, check these out. BITUNIX, link in the Discord, also in the description here. We've got a pretty insane sign-up bonus, yet 50% depending on what you deposit and trade in futures bonuses. No KYC available all over the world. If you are interested, like I said, not financial advice. Have a look. It is a great platform, in my opinion, where I've been doing a lot of my trading right now. And I'll probably share some of those trades with you guys tomorrow, just so that obviously we'll put analysis in the Discord and I'll put my money where my mouth is and we'll put a couple of those trades on as well. So yeah, Pepe could be another one. If we get a retest of the 100-day exponential moving average, then Pepe could get a bounce off that. 5.9 might be a nice little, 2, 3, 4x leverage trade to the upside. I'm not saying what to do, but there's some opportunities out there, especially in a slightly cooling off market. So we'll see. Right. The important thing though is, where does BTC finish today, and what was the reason why we saw the cool off? All right, we'll talk about that. Having to use the US petrodollar. Oh my God, Nathaniel, what's all that about? I remember around 5 years ago, this time of year, buying XRP for sub 30 cents. If only I had more money back then to buy more. Man, we bought XRP like, it can't be 5 years. It must be like 3 years ago or something. It's always the same. It's always the same. Oh my God. That token I've been telling you about is about to hit 600k. Nice, bro. Nice. Brandon says, you're smashing it, mate. Nearly 40,000 subscribers. We appreciate you keeping us in the loop. Cheers. 26. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Brandon. Man, I appreciate all that. You always comment on my videos as well. So massively, massively appreciate you guys. And yeah, hopefully we full send it this year. I'm excited. I'm excited. And fingers crossed we can start to, full send the stream as well, which would be good. Okay. So that's kind of talking about that. Let's get into the actual reason we saw the market sell off. And that will probably then allow us to then at the end of the stream say, do we think markets go up, markets go down, what's going to happen, all of that good stuff. But look at this. I'm late to Bitcoin. A Bitcoiner is never late. You've arrived exactly when you were meant to. Oh, if only that was true. Hey, I'm sure I picked some XRP up around 20p. Nice, mouse. What's going on, Holmes? Well, what's going on? Ifs and buts, no point in looking at the past unless you are learning from it. Everyone obviously wishes they... Well, I mean, that's true, yeah. That's true. It's always that bit, isn't it? Like, I always think to myself, man, if I just didn't put that money into and it's a BitUnix, into BitConnect, then how different would my life be? Anyway, my opinion, as long as you learn from what you've done in the past, then, everything's relative. And I've always said that, you can lose a load of money in this market. As long as you learn why you lost it, then it's... I guess it might not feel like it, but it's worth it in the long run. Okay, so let's talk about why the market's dumped again. The 10 a.m. manipulation. This is actually gathering a bit of steam. I saw a few people talking about this. Bitcoin dropped $3,000, liquidated 220 million worth of longs. Is it manipulation or is it over keen traders? That's the debate you have. I was talking about this, saying, look, be mindful with leverage, because half of the time, this is exactly what happens. Leverage builds up and the market makers go, oh, let's just dump this. 280 million is where we sit 24 hours here with some of the big winners. In fact, you probably already know. I don't even need to tell you who some of the big winners will be. Binance, Hyperliquid, Bybit, BitGet, the standards, 3 Bs and an H. These are where it is, but 280 milli, not the worst though. Could have been way worse. If you think about it, could have been way worse. People would have been starting to get a little bit more optimistic. US markets yesterday actually opened up reasonably okay. Obviously not so much on the day's charts, but while Dow Jones hit a new all-time high today and precious metals are near all-time highs, it's truly insane. This is the thing, right? It's kind of not that insane. And why is it not insane? Because this is just a clear indication that you have institutional money rotating back into stocks. That's why when you see Bitcoin pump, the money comes flowing back in. It's almost like a self-fulfilling engine, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like if price goes up, people dump it in, people FOMO in, debt's easy to get, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But, what we can say, and I think is what is worth noting here, is when you look at BlackRock, they were buyers today. So although this market tanked, right? And it didn't, in the grand scheme of things, it's all building back up again. But in the, in the short term, market's dumped. Look at that from BlackRock. They were buying clips of $28 million. Like, understand that. So they actually made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 purchases today of over $20 million. All right. They're not messing about, right? They're not messing about. BlackRock were net buyers on Ethereum at nearly 6 million and massive net buyers there on Bitcoin. And what you can see here when we look at the ETFs, just to give you kind of a flavor, tell me what your flavor is. Yesterday was obviously monumental, nearly $700 million worth flowing into those ETFs. And actually, when you look at what's happening today, there's an expectation that, well, we're going to see something similar. And when you look at actual on-chain data, it's telling you a pretty similar story. Yeah. So we saw some significant inflows when it comes to that. So I now know what you're all thinking, right? Well, why did the markets dump then? Like, what the hell? Like, why did the markets dump yesterday? That's the debate we've got to have. Why did the markets dump here? And the basic, simple conclusion I have is these are not anyone invested in crypto for a long time. So ETFs, treasury companies, all that sort of stuff. Even I'd argue bigger whales. This is just your short-term trader. These are the people that got in at 88, 89,000. I'm going to show you a chart that's going to essentially prove what I'm talking about. And then, these are kind of people that have got out. They've gone, hey, this shining thing's at all-time highs. The fact it dumps on market opens tells us that it's an institutional client, but not an ETF client. All right, important in my view, by the way, and we'll sort of touch on why that is a thing. Can you talk about Bitcoin CME gaps and what do you think about them? I can. I think they're a bit of nonsense, if I'm honest. I think they're a bit of nonsense. I know they fill, and I know people hold them pretty like in high regard, but yeah, we track it a little bit. We track a little bit here on the futures on. Where do we track it? Man, have I just deleted it? Maybe I deleted it. But yeah, so I'm not like super crazy on them, if I'm dead honest. But yeah, man, BTC just absolutely. I don't know. Are we pushing up? Yeah, we're pushing up. Okay, man, I just thought we tanked. Looks like there's some nice buys coming in. But let's bring the order book up so we can keep an eye on it. But yeah, stick around. We can definitely talk about CME gaps if you want. I know some people have some opinions on it that's slightly different to mine, but man, yeah, there's some big buys coming in. Holy smokes, everybody. Look at this. Nearly $1 million. Oh, no, it looks like people want to play some games. You know what that says? Man, look at this. 500,000. 160. Someone bought nearly $1 million of BTC in one clip. Absolutely wild right now coming into the markets. Let's get it. Feels like BTC is pushing 92,705. Let's stick close to that. Let me just close a couple of these windows down. Yeah, let's keep that one up so we can see what's going on. ETFs we've done. We don't need to see that. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that because I think it's important, right? But look at this. The exact reason why Bitcoin just crashed. Now, you have to be mindful of when people say this because you would read this and go, oh my God, that means the exchanges are manipulating crypto again and I can't believe it, right? Well, it's kind of not the same. This basically means that we saw outflows of these particular wallets. Exchanges don't dump from cold wallets, right? These are cold wallet stores and we could probably untrack it and it'll come in, right? But What we do know is that they actually did sell, which again aligns to the theory that these are short-term people that got in at 88,000, rode the market up. Seller exhaustion, however, is very much on the cards right now. Man, BTC is trying right now. Look at these buys coming in. Let's go, baby. Another milli there. Go BTC, go BTC. Let's get to 300, please. Although I'm on futures, so I don't want to be on futures. I want to be on spot. But man, yeah, big futures contracts going in right now. Wild. Do they think something's coming that we don't know about? Or is it the 2-bit crypto pump? Maybe it's the 2-bit crypto pump. Joe, what's going on, buddy? What's happened in 3 days? Stick around. I'm going to tell you. It's not a click. I promise it's not a clickbait thumbnail. I promise it's not, by the way. You're going to be disappointed, but that's only because you think it's going to be something super cool. Anyway, so this aligns to what we were talking about, that essentially this is just exchange selling. I think just profit taking. Like we said, I think the first market was probably some elements of exchange movements, liquidity distribution, all that kind of stuff. And then I think it was a bit of retail that dumped it. Everyone's going, oh, well, I'm up. I can afford to take this. Closing futures trades, all that kind of stuff. All right. I definitely think it was aligned to that. Now, how do we then quantify that? Well, this is the chart you need. Bitcoin taker sell volume exceeding 2.3 billion in the past 3 hours. Okay, let me try and explain a little bit as to exactly what the taker sell volume is. If you are not a trader, and this isn't me like having a go at anybody or saying anything weird, by the way. If you are not a trader or you haven't traded, essentially the taker volume is when you sell, when you close a contract down. So whether you're long, short, whatever, and you close that particular trade down, then essentially that's what they call a taker. So maker is you put the trade on, taker is you take the trade off. Then simple moves. Think of it as putting your Bitcoin into the trade, maker, taking your Bitcoin out of a trade, taker. And what this essentially says is that we saw massive closures of leverage. So massive long positions, short positions, whatever, right? The likelihood is it's going to be long positions based on where the markets were. And actually this is outperforming a significant number. And this basically means that you've got loads of people deleveraging, like everyone's kind of coming out, taking profits. And if they're taking profits in Bitcoin, let's say they're doing it on, maybe cross margin and they are trading the native asset. So they're actually going to trade for Bitcoin as opposed to say USDT or whatever. If I trade anything, I trade with the stablecoin. I don't necessarily trade with the net asset, but a lot of people do. But this kind of aligns to exactly the point that we were saying, okay? That this is just a standard sell-off, a standard profit. Man, look at BTC right now. Look at it. It's skyrocketing. It's not skyrocketing, okay? Stop getting too excited too bit. Calm the flipping neck down. But what we can say is big volumes coming in. Was it all just a ruse? Did everyone sell? They shouldn't have done. Did all these people close their long trades down? And they're like, no, 2-bit, I should have listened to you, bro. Well, anyway, it is what it is. 2-bit will reveal he likes Marmite on Fridays. Can you imagine? Anyway, don't forget, by the way, if you're enjoying the content, smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high. Give us a couple of taps on TikTok. That would be great. And if you're brand new here as well, consider subscribing to the channel. I live stream 6 days a week, trying to bring you all the best in the crypto market. But yeah, breaking news. What's the breaking news? Oh my God, Bitcoin is absolutely skyrocketing right now. What is the Bitcoin? What is it? What is the breaking news, everybody? Someone telling me there's breaking news. Is that breaking news? Just in the S&P closes. That's not breaking news. Breaking. The White House says President Trump is waiting using US military to acquire Greenland. Oh, come on. That's not breaking news. MSCI decides not to exclude Bitcoin and crypto treasury companies from that's the breaking news. Oh, shit. Let's go, everybody. Bitcoin. Ah, this is bullish. Bullish. Man, we're always live for some of these excellent things. Bullish for everyone. That's great news. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Oh, that's super duper news. All right, cool. Cool. I mean, just by the way, I wouldn't be like super like mega crazy bullish, like market's going to go to like $300,000 tomorrow, but man, that's pretty bullish news, actually. I definitely think this is going to pull back down, though. Just watch out. This is like a fake pump out. Everyone's like, oh, here we go, like piling loads of long leverage. No, but the UK just said they are putting boots on the ground for UK. Oh, really? Oh, come on. Like, base melting winning yet? Not quite. I have nearly $400 in BTC. Do I sell? Mouse! It's up to you, bro. Flushed a few out of the market. Now we move again. I mean, it definitely looks like it. But, that's pretty bullish news. That's pretty bullish news, isn't it, man? Who would have thought that? Who would have thought we were going to get that news? Great news, by the way. If you want to check that out, watch a guru announcing that. Man, I can't believe they didn't do that. Sailor's going to absolutely go wild, isn't he? What do you think about Deepin? I think it's a bit undervalued at the minute, and I think no one's talking about it. But yeah, it's a bit like RWA, really, isn't it? Everyone was like, "Oh, they're going to skyrocket. It's going to be the trade of the century." Yeah, it's kind of felt a little bit flat, in my opinion. Don't mean it can't be good, but yeah, it just needs to crack on a little bit, really. I'd be more inclined with the projects versus the actual kind of narrative, in my opinion, by the way. Just in my opinion. I mean, I don't know if people actually care about that, but yeah. If ZXCH equals 1 BTC, then what? I mean, I imagine it's going to be pretty much the moon. The only one I would look at maybe in Deepin is Tau BitTensor. A lot of people are talking about that. Loads of ETFs being filed for it as well. Jasmine to the moon. Yeah, Jasmine's been doing really well today. And actually with this move on BTC, look at that. 25%. Jasmine pumping. Let's go, baby. Let's see what that does. And yeah, we're all here for it. We're bullish on it, everybody. We're here for it. Good. Well, that's great news. And looks like the order books are filling back in again. So, like I said, I definitely would expect a little bit of a pullback down on that. So, wow, great news. Well, there you go. That's what happens when you're live here on the 2-Bit Crypto channel. It is all go. It is all go. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, in my opinion. Okay. Let's keep an eye on BTC just from a price standpoint. It's bullish, isn't it? That's super bullish. MSCI. Is it like an official statement from this? Hold on a minute. MSCI Institute. Accept. Did they announce anything? Doesn't look like it. Latest videos, events, school programs. I can't see anything. Future events, past events, videos. Yeah, I thought maybe we'd get something, but anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Watch XLM take off near shortly. There a correction. There a connection between Onyx Coin and XLM. Nice, Nathaniel. I like it. Zach Hudson's in the building. What's going on, Zach? Good to see you, man. Rick Cogswell. Jasmine's loving it. Rick is bullish on Jasmine. Let's get it. So Captain Sparkle, we need to break 95k also. When silver, it's 120, 140. It'll make Bitcoin soar on XRP. Let's get it. I saw Hunter coming earlier as well. What's going on, Hunter? Good to see you, buddy. Griff, welcome in. Good to see you, man. Good to see you guys. Not bad breaking news. Tomato Pete. There you go. We got one right eventually. We got one right. So yeah, great news on that one. Great news on that. And BTC, yeah, I mean, it's pulling back right now, but look, I mean, it's pushed the markets up a little bit. You want to see it go a little bit higher. I'm not going to lie. I'd like to see that kind of push a little bit higher, but we'll see as this news probably filters out. I'm not sure loads of people are going to know about it right now. Okay. Now, I want to talk about this a little bit as well. So many of you will have seen this. What news did I miss? So the MSCI, which are essentially going to remove Bitcoin treasury companies from the NASDAQ, I think it was, have said, no, they're fine. Because what they're saying was basically their underlying asset that they've got the valuation of the company isn't actually something they can do. And everyone wrote them off. Everyone. Man, what's MSTR going to do in out of hours? I bet MSTR is going to, man, that's going to be a great trade if you can get hold of that. Oh my gosh. And they've ruled that that's not the case. So now we'll see probably MSTR will probably hit the S&P maybe on the NASDAQ. Yeah, pretty much news. Pretty good news if you ask me. So, yeah, I'm less bothered about him, by the way. It's nothing to do with what he said. It's these two charts that are interesting. Not even his charts, but it's an interesting setup, by the way. This has kind of been doing the rounds. I don't know if people have seen it, but I wanted to kind of just dive in a little bit as to kind of what this chart is all about, and I guess where we could potentially see this chart going. You know, and again, I always talk about this. Don't take charts as gospel. Take them as a view to support where you kind of need a view on there as well. So that's kind of my opinion. Okay, so what you've got here is apparently it's an age-old chart from a very old school trader talking a little bit about kind of how markets work and where they're going to go, and then, you know, potentially kind of what that looks like broadly. So you can see there, this is the stock market. So, you know, you can't attribute all of it directly back to the crypto market, but at the same time, what you can see here is this kind of really obvious pattern playing out. It's super macro, by the way. So again, you got to understand that some people play in timescales in years as opposed to in minutes, which, you know, some of us kind of, you know, always seem to hang out to what's going on in the minutes. But what we're essentially saying here is that this is the kind of potential play out of which this is where you get people saying, well, Bitcoin might get to $400,000 by 2030. I mean, I've heard predictions like this year that we could see like a 250k BTC, but again, so we've got to break this kind of bull market trend. But essentially what this is, you know, is showing us that this kind of continuation pattern, and you can kind of break this from a macro to a micro. You know, this pattern we've discussed a number of times. The big debate right now is, are we about to see a 26 skyrocket? So essentially they're saying that we could see 225 on BTC in 2026 aligned to this. Now, it's not going to be as simple as just a random chart that people aren't seeing, but it does follow a similar pattern. And I guess you can argue where you are. So you talk about things like the slow build into it, the boring phase. Well, it's felt like that over the course of the last 3 months, maybe 3 months. You know, breakout could be the next one. The crazy run, which where everyone starts to go wild. And, you know, first warning signs, the dump, and then reset and repeat. The debate is, where are we sitting right now? That's obviously the big one. So, yeah. The channel is legit. No hit on that. Just saying that the, oh, yeah. I mean, loads of them can. I think any of these, and they all post all the same thing as well. But, yeah. Mad Bounty, this history. What's going on? Love. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. So, yeah, I guess, you look, like I said, you can't take everything at face value. And I think it's interesting. And I've always been the view, by the way, as much as I've enjoyed really getting stuck into TA and, you know, sort of trying to hone some skills and, you know, work moves out and all that kind of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it. And like I said, those I think that are in the Discord will see, I think the move on what we're doing in terms of TA, but you can make any chart fit any narrative, I believe. And I think that's always a dangerous thing to have. But yeah, I mean, look, hopefully we kind of see it. Hopefully we see that kind of move. So if we were to say, well, how do we see this move play out? What's going to be the narrative that's going to push BTC higher? Now, again, I dropped kind of a macro video. It talks about Bitcoin, talks about the economy, talks about much more. It's about 11:30 UK time. And then I put sort of an altcoin video out, generally XRP, but I'm going to start mixing that up with some HBAR content as well, because I think HBAR's got a real opportunity, as has Algorand and a few others. So look out for that. That's going to be pretty bullish as well. So if we were to say, well, look, how do we get to this point? This chart is even more interesting. The Fed balance sheet is expanding for the first time in 4 years. All right. So we absolutely, oh, yeah, what's that? Digital says, I'm bullish. I'm down for it, Digital. So am I. Looks like the chart's from the 15th century. I think it's definitely an older chart, but federal balance sheet is starting to accumulate once again. This is good news. Which, you know, essentially is that they are starting to print treasuries, which will obviously then support a reduction in the reduction in kind of interest rates and all the rest of it. Okay, it will support a growth in labor market. We're not seeing it just yet, albeit it's a very marginal move. So we're seeing about 2% coming off the potential rate cuts into, you know, into January, for an example. But hey, it's a pretty good news story. Fed Reserve have not been doing this. And if you look at this, when was the last time they started to increase their balance sheet? It was 2021. In fact, July of 2021. If you correlate that back to our Bitcoin price chart here, what do you see? Go back all the way to July 2021. What do you see? Well, oh my God, I'm going to have to do it like this. I'll do it on the 3-day chart. It's going to be way quicker to get there. What do you see on here? So look, April, May, June, and July was basically the bottom here, look, of this big old massive run to the first peak on BTC. So the Federal Reserve doing that, good news. All right. Doesn't mean that it's going to go super crazy. Doesn't mean that we're, you know, that's again, another reason to why, oh my God, didn't do that. Why people should be absolutely max FOMOing this. But, you know, at the same time, good news, all right? Good news. The 0.24, it's like a goodie bag for me. Let's get it. My prediction, I hold a potato in my mouth, pee in the wind, and lands on my left foot. Market goes up. Right. Future, I reckon that's probably a pretty good shout. Tim, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Tim, I haven't forgotten about the message that you and I sent to each other, so I will sort that out after tonight's live stream, I promise, all right? I just have a chance. I know that's a really lame excuse, but I just have a chance. I'm sorry. So yeah, watch out for this one, right? And then Fed balance sheet, good news. Okay, what else we got going on? Well, Grayscale, Ethereum staking ETF, becomes first spot Ethereum ETF to distribute staking rewards. Great news. We talked about this yesterday. The fact that this is going to be a completely new narrative, and I think lots of people are going to jump on the bandwagon and start to see a really big potential, and actually start to see the potential that comes with staking, right? Because people will just put money here. They won't go to US treasuries, I think. And I think that could be a very good news story, particularly in risk assets and all the rest of it. So, yeah, watch out for that. In my opinion, that could be bullish as well. So, good. By the way, if people are joining into the joining the Discord, you do need to verify yourselves. And if you don't, then you simply get yeeted out, all right? So it's dead easy to do. Go to the start here section, follow all what it says on the screen. So many of you have already been verified. It's a way of keeping bad people out of our Discord. So if you can't do it, you literally get yeeted out. So not threatening anybody. I'm just telling you how it is. But yeah, this is good news as well, by the way. Good news. XRP won't do 30. So XLM, with its half supply of 4,000 bucks, I don't see doing over 30 either. We'll take a look at XLM chart if you want in a minute. So good. All right. Couple of other little bits of news. If you are interested, Bernstein predicting the crypto growth in 26. This could be interesting with a Bitcoin price target of $150,000. Obviously, everyone's going to start chucking price predictions out when markets go up. But, you know, interesting, I guess. Here's a Bernstein Elements, Gautam Shangangi, whoever the hell that is, who reports the medium to long-term upside potential for crypto in 26. Lots of people think it's going to go up, by the way. Regulatory changes, tokenization. Don't sleep on tokenization. That's what I was saying about RWA. You'd think, you know, that was going to be a bigger narrative than it perhaps is, but still, watch out for that. He predicts that the TVL increased to 80 billion. Wow. Joe says, I really need an $8 XRP. I found the building. I must have. Whoever can make that happen. Thanks in advance. Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. Now, what's interesting recently, Bitcoin whales accumulated over 56,227 BTC. Don't be surprised. A lot of it were attributed to ETFs as well, which is good. But yeah, retail traders profit, fearing potential bull traps. So lots of people obviously getting a little bit panicked as to kind of where that looks like. But, you know, it's always the case, isn't it? We're always going to see it. And it's always going to be, you know, the potential of risk on versus risk off. But what we do know is there was a steep accumulation of Bitcoin over the course of the last 24 hours. And hopefully this will continue, by the way. That's what we want to see. We want to see that continue to the upside, which would be great news. So good. And then look, USDC surpassing USDT growth for the second year. Wow. USDC maintaining a market cap of 75.68 billion, accounting for 2.4% of the stablecoin market. Watch what USDC are doing. Everyone gets hung up on USDT minting. USDC might be the quiet one that no one knows. Remember, this is already trading on the stock market under the Circle IPO. So worth keeping an eye on for that. Infamous, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Russell Hall. The Russell looks like it wants to go into the price discovery. What the Russell does. I mean, the pre-market. Wow. Why the pre-market's? Oh my God, the pre-market's an enormous. What? Why are the pre-markets so big? We'll take a look at this in a minute, but like, why would the Dow be predicting to open up 500 points up? What? Pretty wild, if you ask me. Doesn't Aave have a tiny supply? I don't think it's too tiny. There was lots of debate about whether Aave was actually sustainable or not. They were all panicking about it. It is circular 16 million. It's not that big, actually. Surprising, actually. I thought it was going to be bigger than that. But yeah, do you think XRP eventually will decouple from the traditional crypto market and value will not fluctuate with Bitcoin? I mean, maybe if the market grows up a little bit, but not in the short term. I think everything's way more correlated than people is. I said this, you know, when everyone was saying, "Oh, we've decoupled from the stock market," I was one of those people saying we haven't. We're more correlated to the stocks than we've ever been. People just don't realize it. And actually, when you look at, you know, the macro side of stuff, and you could argue and say, well, hold on a minute. Yeah, but the stock market's at all-time highs and we're not. Well, yeah, but, you know, think of it, look at it at price movement. We can put it on here. Let's put the S&P 500 as an example. And you can kind of correlate the dumps. Yeah, you say, well, the actual price movement isn't great. And the S&P is rallying to brand new all-time highs, as an example, at, you know, nearly 7,000, which is wild. Would you say Litecoin is a Bitcoin fork? No. I would not. They run on the same algorithm, SHA-256, but yeah, they try and solve two totally different things. But what's important here is that you can see a tick up, and generally when you see dumps, you see the dumps happen in Bitcoin, you see the dumps happen in the crypto market, and you see the pumps happen in Bitcoin, you see the pumps happen in the stock market. So, you know, very, very interesting. Ban on tariffs, bullish or bearish? Very bearish, which I know sounds insane, right? I know that sounds insane, but the unwind of those potential tariffs is not going to be good, right? However you look at it, you know, no matter how you feel about it, then I think that that unwind of that value is not going to be great. You'll say, look, by the way, I am super bullish on XRP. I'm super bullish of XRP. Bro, get market cap out of your head for what is coming with our financial system. You referred to XRP, by the way? We're coming with I look at Aave years ago, went from 0.38 to $60. Okay, right. Okay, so you're telling me Aave is going to be huge. I mean, maybe people are going to want somewhere to put their money. Like, that's the reality of it. That's what we were saying with these ETFs. Like, these are why these are going to be super important. So, yeah. Callan, probably not, if I'm honest. Probably not. What's going on, Fairground? Good to see you, man. Welcome in, everybody. Don't forget, tap up the like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it if you did that. That'd be great, by the way. That'd be super great. So, yeah, I mean, maybe, like I said, Harvey definitely got an opportunity. The only thing I would always come back to where I think people will be uncomfortable if you talk about big money institutions, where I think it's different, and where I think the ETF narrative might play out a bit more favorably is it's still a risk. It's still DeFi. It's still not regulated by the SEC and all the rest of it. So I think, look, I absolutely think it could be good news, but yeah. Equally though, when you talk about XLM, you talk about XRP, like, I'm bullish. I'm just not in a camp of like crazy bullish. Doesn't mean I don't hope it gets to that point, but I'd rather be saying, well, look, where do we want XRP to get to? What is the narrative that we're hoping it's going to do? And for me, let's talk about a $10 XRP before we start talking about $250 XRP. Just my opinion. Long term, cool, right? I'm down for it long term. Of course I am. And, you know, I talk about XRP a lot on the channel, and I think, and have said this a number of times, that I think so many people get focused on price and not what's behind it. And I think that's important. I always use the Raptors scenario. Look at the two Raptors at the either side of you. They're the ones you got to worry about, not the person you can see in front. And that's kind of always been my stance when it comes to XRP. But yeah, at the same time, we want to see it absolutely skyrocket. And I talked about this in my update video today. Everyone thought the exchanges taking XRP was a bearish sign. I don't think it was. I actually think it's playing out to be very different, and probably playing out a little bit more interesting than we maybe thought. Man, Bitcoin's rallying again. Good news. Jasmine is flying. M-Kriegs, I know. M-Kriegs, we were messaging each other earlier. I know it is. It's 30%. Oh, come on, M-Kriegs. Come on. Oh, man. If anyone's wondering, by the way, yeah, M-Kriegs was long Jasmine all of last week, and it didn't do anything. Fair play to you, though. M-Kriegs, you need to get a channel membership, and you need to get your bum in the Discord and be part of our like TA group. It'd be great. It's only $5.60 a month, by the way. I'm just saying, it'll be worth it. Man, it's going to break a zero pretty soon. But Bitcoin is rallying as well. It's certainly trying to break out, as is Ethereum, by the way, which is great. Really good. What's up with crypto TD? MSCI have said it's fine for strategy and other other Bitcoin companies, that they're not going to get booted off the NASDAQ, which is fantastic news. Selling came from profit taking. ETFs were buyers. BlackRock, buyer. Price up. Altcoins up. Sentiment still flat. There you go. That's brought you up to speed of 36 minutes of live stream. Oh, Beebs, what's going on? What's going on? Wow, silver at $82. Man, I haven't even looked at the traditional markets. Oh my God, look at silver. Silver is losing its mind right now. 6% of the day. Gold at 1%. Why are so many people going into silver? Well, I wonder why. Because it's been restricted by China. Because it's going to be a... They want to hold it. Let's have a look. China silver exports. I'm curious as to kind of what that looks like. China's imposed strict silver export controls effective 1st of January 2026, mandating government approval for an estimated 60 to 70% of refined silver trade globally. Man, the dip on this is going to be bad, though, isn't it? The silver dump is going to be painful. That is pretty wild, in fairness, if you think about that. If you think about that, that's pretty crazy. So, yeah, I mean, who was talking about $100 on silver? I mean, it probably could get there, but yeah, that is going to be a painful correction. Painful correction. So, yeah, look at this. China's silver export restrictions are reshaping global precious metals market in Beijing, implements comprehensive licensing control fundamentally after international supply cleared. Wow. Yeah, that's going to get pretty tasty, I reckon. That is going to get pretty tasty. Key operational changes, extended documentation, production capacity thresholds. Wow. Government review process and enhanced compliance monitoring throughout the license period. Like I said ages ago that I thought silver was going to be a manufactured pump, and I still think it is. I'm saying I need an $8 XRP. Thanks in advance. Okay, yeah, we got you, bro. The silver dump will be short-lived, unlike XRP dumps. Maybe. Fairground's got silver. Man, Fairground, you've been crushing it recently. What did you get? Sui the other day. Silver. Man, Fairground's absolutely on it right now. Can you please analyze Night? Yes, remind me in about 6 minutes, and we'll take a look at it. Oscari, what's going on, bro? Come on. 9 o'clock UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's when we go live. Show says, how do you feel about day trading crypto futures? Thinking about trying it myself. If you've never done it, then I highly recommend not doing it to start with. You can lose everything. People don't tell you this. They go, oh yeah, it's great. You literally lose everything. You lose all your money. Be really cautious with margin trading. My advice, if you are going to start, start super low, really get some practice in. And yeah, it is not lots of people do it. Understand they have had years and years and years and years of practicing and years of honing what they look at. My view, by the way, just my view, and I don't trade. Yeah, start a demo account. Exactly. I don't trade a lot. I've probably started trading a little bit more recently, only because I feel like I've got conviction in what I'm looking at in charts, and I feel way more comfortable with sort of some of the analysis I look at. All I look to trade is momentum breaks rather than actually try and trade, try and scalp trades. It's just not my thing, really, but yeah. Two people get silver when it's 250, and then you'll see the dump. That's exactly what happened. When silver, gold, and copper have pumped together, historically it's acted as a red flag and major dump has followed. Not saying the same will happen again, as environment is completely different. True. And we all know, generally speaking, though, that if you get commodities rallying, tends to then support a narrative for risk on. The other thing to note, by the way, someone was asking about the Russell. Look at this. Russell pre-market is skyrocketing as well. Now, don't forget the Russell tracks the 2000 mid to low cap stocks. So this is essentially a good indicator of risk on. So if the Russell's pumping, you would argue you're probably going to see some correlation into the Bitcoin market as well. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. And BTC, well, it's kind of hovering a little bit. Also definitely rallying a little bit more than we've got with them. So, okay, good. Right. Did we talk about Bernstein? Yes, we've done Bernstein. We've done that. BlackRock, we've touched on. They were not selling Bitcoin liquidations. Liquidate those shorts, baby. That's what we need to see. RV price. And don't forget BitUniX if you want to go and trade all your favorite cryptos. Right, cool. We are up to speed. So the debate, the token debate. What is coming in 3 days and what do you guys need to be aware of? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so strap yourselves in. It's going to get exciting. In 3 days' time, we get the biggest release of the most important data that we've got so far this week. And we already know this week's been pretty wild. The Michigan consumer sentiment will be out on Friday, aligned with unemployment rate, non-farm payrolls, and much more. So Friday, in my opinion, is going to be a very, very critical day. The other thing worth noting, by the way, that we also have coming on Friday is the Fed Barkin speech, and we also have Michigan's consumer expectations. So Friday is going to be a big day. We have expectations on job data, which currently is showing bullish. Okay, it's showing that we're going to see an increase in people working. Great. The non-farm payrolls is also saying that we're going to see less. So what that's telling us is a stronger labor market, which is kind of good news as well. And unemployment rate expectation is that is going to come down. All things that would align to a bullish sentiment in the markets. That is essentially what's going to happen. And I think it's going to set us up for a big move at the weekend. Now, the other thing to note, Supreme Court rule on tariffs. Come on! I can't believe I clicked that. I can't believe I clicked it. Is the Supreme Court view on tariffs. Now, if you saw Twitter, Trump was talking about it earlier on. He's like, full on, please don't do it. But yeah, essentially, probably the biggest decision that we're going to see the Supreme Court do is that tariff announcement. Now, whether that's just going to be we need to look at this, we need to look at that. And actually the enactment or the reversal of that enactment isn't going to come probably for later on in the year, but it is going to be an important one and it is going to be big. So there is a lot coming Friday. And don't forget, we could be on the back of a big old move this week as well. If markets continue to do what they're doing, then yeah, this could be pretty interesting. Didn't BR announce that BTC and Sol, I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. Bro, ask anyone in the XRP army if I know. So yeah, so the fact that we're going to get the opinion day and it's wildly expected to be a decision on the Trump tariffs, including global tariffs. So again, this is why we're going to be important to see what's going on because, you know, it's just going to be a volatile point in the markets where potentially risk markets are not going to like it, right? So we move on macro headlines. We're really sensitive to macro headlines right now. And what will be interesting is Thursday. Do we see people go risk off on Thursday? So when we talk about market structure, we could see the markets push a little bit. They could push the price up, right? Then you see some profit taken on Thursday as people potentially de-risk ahead of that announcement. Let's see if we can take a look at the odds of the tariff announcements. So let's see. So the Supreme Court ruling in favor of Donald Trump is I know this is polymarket, by the way, so I'm not saying anything crazy, but yeah, 23% chance of a potential ruling in Trump's favor. They're not great odds, right? They're not great odds. Let's just call a spade a spade. But man, Friday's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be pretty interesting indeed, for sure. Does it look like the markets fear the Supreme Court? Yeah, well, not really. Not really, but then I think there's probably a narrative where people don't believe that the tariffs would rule against it. I don't think they will, by the way. I don't think they will. There's too much money attached to it. Let's see if we can get that from... what is the net value of tariff revenue? Because we haven't seen a... revenues, I put an S in there. We haven't seen a... government surplus for a while, have we? Normally we got those reports that says what the government surplus was, but I haven't seen it, to be honest. I've noticed the difference between a demo account and real money. Well, a demo account's exactly what it says it is, just a demo account, which means you can make mistakes. You need to hone your skills of what your trade strategy is. Don't try and be a scalper. Don't try and trade long trade. You need to kind of just go and play with what it is. If you're going to literally sit there from 9 in the morning till 9 at night, focusing on the trades, focusing on what's going on, absolutely hyper dialed into the market, then scalping's probably fine. If you're not, then you've got to trade momentum trades. You've got to sort of look at broader macros. So the US government collected around $195 billion in custom duties tariff revenue in FY 2025. Net tariff revenue isn't always published directly in the real time, but analysis typically estimate that net tariff receipts are about 80 to 85% of gross tariffs, other excise tariff revenue returns after refunds and adjustments. So, estimated net tariff revenue for FY25, roughly 156 billion to 166 billion. So they reckon that there's like 166 billion that's been put back into the Trump administration's pot, should we call it that? So yeah, that's pretty interesting, but we haven't seen with that recently. So, I mean, can they unwind? I mean, it's not probably that big. The only thing that I think could unwind, which will be the bigger debate, is why would companies continue to commit to building in the US if they can all just go and build in other places? Like US, or like automotive, for example, might be kind of, really hit hard by that. Because if people are like, well, you don't have to build a car manufacturer in here. And equally at the same time, you can't afford China to become a superpower in all this kind of stuff. So I don't think they'd vote against it, which I think is contrary to what a lot of people believe, but we'll see. And the fact that we got that bullish news today about the MSCI is good news. Good news. Clarity Act meeting today. Well, yeah, I saw that. I saw the Clarity Act was back on the table, which is good. Damn, it's cold here, minus 24 to 30. Wow, a sky Finland, bro. What? It's like it was minus 5 here this morning. That was cold. Okay, minus 6 minute completed, bro. As you've had asked for, analyzing night. Okay, let's do it. I'm there, bro. I've got it. Let's get it up. See? Well timed, by the way. I appreciate that. Midnight. Here we go. Look. Now, I haven't seen super crazy good stuff about this. It's all gone a bit quiet. And I imagine, I'm not surprised, by the way, at that whatsoever. I'm not surprised at it. So, yeah, I mean, look. Excitement all the way back to December 10th, and it's on a bit of a sell-off. Now, it could come a bit lower. Can we move this into trading view? Can I actually move this into trading view or not? Is there any way you can do that? How do I do that? Oh, chart by trading view. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's the worst. That is the worst. Come on, bro. Okay, fine. We'll do it here. So, yeah, I mean, potentially you're going to see this kind of bounce off this lower range. It is literally bottomed out at 7.6. Doesn't look like it goes much lower here. So, the upside risk versus downside, the upside potential versus downside risks, probably a pretty good trade right now. So what have you got? Risk downtrend is a further 5%. Your upside feels pretty solid. So actually, when you look at that, it might have a, you know, I think where would your first port of call be? 8 cents potentially as a rebound. The only thing I would bring to your attention though is it's negative 10% on a day where markets have kind of been okay. I don't know what it was yesterday, by the way, but man, what am I doing here? Where's that chart gone? What? Am I losing? Oh, God, I'm generally losing my mind. So yeah, potentially that's kind of where we get to with that one. So, you know, worthwhile seeing. Now it would be big, I think. Yeah, lots of people are kind of bullish on it, in fairness. Lots of people are bullish on it. Open feeding trading vote. Okay, I'll have a look at it. Now it will be the best thing to come out of chart. Well, that's true. Emrod, what's going on? Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. I'm a number one gifter. What an absolute legend. Appreciate that, man. Patrick, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that, my man. Bullish on you. Top of which, Fabe, you said the next roll. Pulse chain, do your own research. Look at it, man. It's pulse. I think I always come back to this debate. It's like, is pulse chain still a thing? Like, still making it happen right now? Yeah, look, BTC is on a little bit of a sell-off right now. We'll say that news not managing to sustain the upside momentum. So a bit of a shame, hey. Mercedes says Trump will speak in 15 minutes about the economics and maybe crypto. Will he? Or what? Okay, let's take a look. What time are we on? Oh my God, we've got 10 minutes. Look at the pre-markets, by the way. Pre-markets look wild. Absolutely wild. Look at this. Let's refresh this. I mean, are we going to get some sort of crazy announcement out? Like, the markets feel like, yeah, Jasmine's flying, Fairground. Are we going to get some sort of crazy announcement out? Trump, look at this. 544 open on the Dow Jones. That's insane. That is insane. 49 points up, or just down in the S&P 500. What else we got? Fair value on the NASDAQ, 246 up, 36 on the Russell. So Russell's still continuing upside, which is great. Which is great, actually. So that's definitely showing there is a bit more of an appetite here. Bit more of an appetite. What was I going to look at on here? I was going to look at something, by the way. What have I opened Twitter for? I can't remember. I've opened Twitter for something, but I can't think what I was looking for. Too big, ignore me. What? G6H. I don't know what that means. Oh, right. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Shut up. Shut up, Abby. Okay. Asia looks like it's going to open pretty well. Look at this. The HSI at 1.38. Again, 363 points. Like, what? Bro. Shanghai looks good. STI looks good as well. So, yeah. And commodities, I mean, expectation on oil going to continue to come down. That's interesting, isn't it? Oil is, oil is dumping right now. So, interesting. Thank you. One more analysis, please. Canton fundamentals. Okay, yeah. I mean, I like Canton Network. They have a halving coming up pretty soon, so you're going to have to be mindful of that. You definitely might see profit taking on this, so I'd watch out. If I was looking to trade this, I'd be looking at getting in maybe at the 20-day exponential moving average. We can see there when it did break, it bounced well, and the retest supported it as well. But I think this will continue to come down a little bit more as people predict. Basically, people that are validating that network are going to be half as well off. All right. So be mindful of Canton Network. I do like it, by the way. I traded this move here and then I literally sold at the top. You can see it on my BitUNix trades if anyone's interested. But yeah, I actually think it's pretty good. And we'll see. It's got a long way to go yet, in my opinion, to break a key macro trend. You know, people calling it, oh, it's the XRP killer. It's a new, no, come on, bro. Really? But yeah, I don't mind it. Technically, though, I wouldn't touch it until probably 12.5. And then I might be thinking about getting back in on it. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. Vern, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Thank you to you. It's the only thing I would support if Stardog agreed. Now it would be the best thing to come out of child. Yeah, well, there you go, you see. Trump is going to announce buy crypto like a free. Can you imagine? I'm announcing the Truth Social meme coin. Everyone's going to be like, buy meme coins. I'm not seeing the White House looking like they've got an announcement thing, though. Am I missing this? White House. Homeland Security. America is back. Are you sure he's speaking right now? Let me go to YouTube. So he spoke earlier on about did he speak to the GOP or something? White House. Where are you expecting him to see, or is people just winding me up again? I mean, people could be winding me up, I guess. Sky probably said it's passing comment being too busy to look. I said next fib, then posted very top. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. He spoke earlier today. Yeah, I thought it was early. He said like the stock market was at record highs. Like I sort of saw some of it, not all of it, but I saw little bits and pieces where he was like, "Yeah, we're super macro bullish on everything." He just needs to announce the fact that, Casey, what are you doing? Why have I got so much like blocked, muted, unmuted, blocked? You get it, mate. Love it. Nathaniel says have to account for the breakout, the 7-year pattern for the bottom of the cup and handle where the breakout happens. Trump is going to announce that he is taking over the Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I think part of the correction in the market today was him talking, wasn't it? So pretty wild. Man, there's loads of scammers in the TikTok tonight. Loads of them. Right, let's bring up this. We haven't really looked at this for a while. Interesting that, you know, we saw this kind of push up and we are seeing a little bit of sell-off here. So nothing super crazy. I want to see a bit more. I want to see a bit more momentum here. I want to see a little bit more of the buying pressure coming in. So hopefully we get that. Just FYI, by the way. And man, this thing is absolutely skyrocketing. Don't you guys saw this? I talked about this the other day. I did a video. Hellboy on the Ethereum chain. Look at this. Broke 670k market cap right now. That's pretty crazy. If you didn't watch this video, then shout out to you guys. But yeah, looking pretty bullish right now. And looking like it's on. Looks like it wants to push a little bit more as well. So if you got into this trade, congrats. Well done. I talked about it. It was 105k, I think it was when I talked about it. So, yeah, pretty bullish. He started talking about, guys, mud wrestling. Okay, that's wild. Yes, mate, Curtis, that's it, yeah. Yeah. Just do what they like, bro. No regs, no Gregs. Never heard that before. But yeah, so yeah, this is a nice move. Like I said, I talked about this the other day. And Bushinga on its way up. So yeah, 626. But nice to get to a milli. So good. All right, let's close this down. Let's keep an eye on what's going on with BTC and the spot market as well. The problem we've got here is we've not got a lot of liquidity building up. So you can see now we've got a little bit here. So we could see a push to 93.4 if we get a bit of momentum in the markets. Feels a little bit quiet. And then pre-markets, man, I can't believe those pre-markets look as wild as they do. That's pretty insane, actually. Pretty insane. Man, I panicked then. I absolutely panicked. Something came up and it said, we have updated your video, but it's an A/B test winner. An A/B test for titles that I've been testing. Man, I panicked then. I thought YouTube had gone wild on me again. Emerald says, you think crypto will pump soon? I mean, it's kind of been pumping over the last few days. The debate will be what happens over the course of the next few days. Don't forget, it's going to be a pretty crazy week with a big day on Friday. Like, you can't deny the fact Friday is going to be pretty crazy, I think. So, yeah, we need to stay dialed in to what that looks like. But right now, you know, BTC definitely feels like it's there's a bit coming in, you know, a couple of sell-offs here. We're just not seeing mega buys coming in. So this 93.2 range feels like a pretty challenging area that we're in right now. But yeah, we'll see. What's going on Friday? So you've got the Trump tariffs, i.e. the Supreme Court are going to vote on whether they are legit or not. You've got loads of macro job data that we need to see. Remember, the Federal Reserve are going to pivot on what they believe is going to be jobs data. So yeah, Friday's a pretty big day, actually. Tomorrow, not so much. Tomorrow's a bit boring. We don't really have a lot coming in tomorrow, so I wouldn't stress tomorrow too much. What day is it tomorrow? Wednesday. So we've got ISM PMI services. It's going to be bullish. Services will be good. We talked about this briefly. But yeah, expect services to be good. That might give us a bit of a catalyst in the market. I don't think so, though. Expectation is 52.3, which will be a marginal contraction, but still very much in expansion. So we get that tomorrow. There's not a lot else. A little bit on job openings. All right, cool. Bozeman speaks tomorrow, so whether he's going to go super risk-off bearish on markets and maybe that tariff announcement. What you don't want to see this week is like loads of like macro discussion on, you know, oh, tariffs might completely crash the markets on Friday. We don't want to see that. Imagine if 2-bit was the longest. Imagine if 2-bit was the longest played scammer. What do you mean? Imagine if 2-bit was the longest played scammer. I don't know what that means. As in, like, all of this last 4 and a bit years was all for nothing. It's all for nothing. Gonna walk away with 3 Gs. Babe says, you'll see BTC is working exactly as per USD's dominance. If one goes up, the other goes down. Please check the candles. Oz, what I'm saying. Yeah, well, that's... I mean, you're right. You're 100% right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yep. They will, though. You understand that. I'm not trying to be patronizing. Please don't think I am. But USDC dominance coming down is because people are exiting stablecoins. That's why. People are going into assets. So that's why you see it. Risk on, people buy Bitcoin. What you want to be looking at, I said about this the other day, actually. A better indication when you want to look at stablecoins is net flows on stablecoins. That's what you want to look at. What is the stablecoin flow into exchanges? So, for example, we can look at Tether, and we can look at, like history, in fairness, and sort of get a view. So here is the chart that you can see. So this is the Tether USDC on all exchanges. So basically the net flows in or out of exchanges. And what you can see here is a direct correlation between outflows and inflows on stablecoins. So again, really, really obvious. You can see right now that actually we are seeing a increase in price and an increase in USDT going into exchanges. So this doesn't necessarily mean that that's the dominance increasing. It just means that people are prepared to buy. Dominance means ultimately people are in stable coins and holding stable coins. So you're right. You are 100% right in your statement. Again, I think you either look at BTC dominance or you look at USDC dominance. They essentially show the same thing, with the exception of USDC dominance comes down, saying people are coming out of stablecoin. Whereas you could look at something like, I don't know, ETH versus BTC is a good narrative to look at, for example. That's going to show you whether people are buying altcoins or buying Bitcoin. That's always a good one. XRP versus BTC. I mean, is that a big thing? I don't know, really. I don't know. What's going on, Rob? Good to see you, man. I did see you come in earlier on, by the way, and I forgot to say hello. So what's going on? I think we wake up greener than today. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Oh my gosh, a blast from the past just walked into the YouTube live. Lauren Bab's in the house. What's going on, Lauren Bab? It's like surround sound here. I've got one Bab here and I've got another Bab here. Hobbs, I'm not sure you know, but if you see crypto pump people bullish, if that goes... Sometimes you guys. Okay. Where are we at? BTC is, yeah, so there is definitely a little bit of volatility right now between these two ranges. So 93.2, 93.4. We probably need to break 93.7 for us to sort of see maybe a push up. I mean, look at this liquidity though. There's next to naff all here on BTC. So we get a little bit of a couple of decent pushes. Like we could definitely see a market retesting. I mean, we could even see 94K by the end of the day. I mean, there's no liquidity here. 95 has got a lot of sell pressure. Look at that. 95 looks pretty challenging, doesn't it? So we can go a little bit more here on total sell volume, by the way. So yeah, look at some of these liquidity zones right now. Man, what is this chart doing? 95 is big. Not so much here. 97, 98. I mean, what's 100K at? 100K would be 1,750 Bitcoin. Right now, to get to 100K, 1,750 times 90. Let's say average price 95,000. $170 million you would need to wipe out these markets, which, you know, that would just be in one hit, wouldn't it? If someone did a massive buy, then pretty crazy, but yeah, pretty wild if you ask me. And but yeah, you know, this is kind of what we want to see. You want to see that kind of pivot a little bit further, pushing up to the upside. Well, we were kind of getting there. It'd be nice to finish green, wouldn't it, on the day? That would be pretty insane if we could do that. Digital says, I'm a raging bull. We're going back to all-time highs. I'm down for it, bro. I am down for it. Man, you guys are going to get yeeted. People are going to get yeeted out of the Discord. Yeet. Craig, are you here, by the way? Are you here, Craig? Craig here? Everyone don't tell too bad I'm going off script. Okay, stream elements. I get you, bro. Don't worry about it. And fast, so buckle up. I'm down for it, by the way. Craig, Right, let me just show you something really, really quickly, right? And I don't want to be disrespectful, but you know when because you have access, because you're a moderator, you have access to pretty much all of the channels in here. If you look at this on the right-hand side, what you can see is these are the only people that can see this. So you know when you type this in this channel, no one can see it. So you don't need to do it. So the channel that everyone sees when they first join is this one. The help chat is where obviously everyone can see that. So literally every single person in the entire Discord can see that. And then announcements, no one can see it other than you and me and Curtis. So the only ones you can type stuff in that people are actually going to be able to see is help and start here when they first join. Okay. So yeah, just a public service announcement. All right, bro. This says we've literally been in downtrend for a year. Let's do it. I'm down for it. Let's hope so. By the way, if you want to get access to our Discord, by the way, it is free. You can get in there. You can get in there. Mary says, okay, what is your job? I have a 9-to-5 job, by the way. This is hopefully a transitional hobby right now. Officially broken up. We're going to try. Let's hope so, Digital. Yeah. What's going on? You can see it on the heat map. What's that island life? Oh, Mary says, I want to be one of your friends. Okay, cool. A lot of liquidity down at 88 to 87. 88 to 87. Let's have a look. There probably is actually, in fairness. Yeah, so you got, so 1,100 BTC to break 88,000, 187. Not as much, by the way. There's definitely more to push up than there is to push down, if that makes sense. So we could definitely see it go higher faster than I think we come down. But yeah, 87, 187. So yeah, there's a bit down there. Not super crazy, but there is a bit. There's definitely a bit worthwhile thinking about for sure. For sure. Okay. I mean, BTC is ranging. Am I okay with this clause? Maybe. Maybe. Do. Mr. 420, what's going on, buddy? Joseph says, believe we're still going to range sideways pretty much all of 26. Unfortunately, wow. Okay, it's interesting. That's interesting. I think it's possible. I think it's unlikely, but I think it's possible. And that would be if we just get, like, let's say that Trump tariff things, get reversed and the Fed doesn't cut rates as early as we think it is. And yeah, there's kind of a little bit more of a kind of feel that it's not ideal. Then, maybe. I think there's too much bullish sentiment though, and too much potential. By the way, I'm in a world of, we're either going to see a crazy, shout out to you, Vern. Thank you so much, man. We're either going to see a crazy bull market, or we're going to literally just see a bit of a nothing burger and probably a decline down to probably 75k, chill there for a bit, and then we'll start the whole process again. Just my opinion. But yeah, Jasmine is going to lose a 0 soon. Let's go, Jasmine. Oh my God, it's at 32%. It's at 32% and it's skyrocketing right now. Shout out to the Jasmine fam. Absolutely crushing it right now. Yeah, Jasmine is looking great, by the way. Why is it gone? Does anyone know, by the way? I didn't really look into it. But we always said, didn't we? Jasmine definitely has an opportunity, and right now it's probably worthwhile holding on. Craig, someone in the Discord can't do it. Let's go. Let's go. Did they just verify? Let me have a look. Start here. And they did not verify. Ah, bro. Anonymous. Mouse, is that you that's in? So you need to do /verified, then the code. You can literally copy and paste it and it'll get you in. I'm so pissed. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Look at the volume on Jasmine. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Chile's doing the same thing. Let's get it. Can you please share a bit more about your job role, bro? If that's okay. I too work. I do, let's say, retail multi-site management. So I'm responsible for about, I have 11 direct, 11 direct reports. Of which they have 22 direct reports into them and about 400 people that sits below them. So yeah, so I do a full 9 to 5 job. I have 3 kids. I have a little boy and 2 twins. Yeah, it's pretty hectic. I'm not gonna lie, but Here's my thesis and here's my ethos on work, by the way. You have to work. Oh, nice, Mouse. You crushed it. Welcome in, whoever that... I think that's you, Mouse, but welcome in. There you go. Sorted. Easy peasy. Booyakasha. Booyakasha. I think... There we are. Jasmine just lost to 0. Holy smokes. Yeah, basically... Basically, I sleep about 4 hours a night. Can you tell us what shoe size you are while you're at it? Yeah, 19. Oh, dear me. BTC dominance down at alt season time, hopefully. Let's hope so. I mean, Jasmine is absolutely flying right now, so bullish on Jasmine. S&W says crypto and coffee. Nice. Andy says I've been working for 40 man. Yeah. Well, I'm 42. I'm a 42-year-old dad of 3. Just trying to make it. Just trying to make it. Yeah. I'm glad you got the joke, Holmes. It wasn't you, Mouse. Okay, fine. Fine. Yeah, that pump would have been insane, M. Kriegs. That would have been a wild one. I told you, you need to get into the Discord. Get into the Discord. Get your trades in there. It costs you about £6. Just become a channel member. It's ace. Okay, good. Good. Right, BTC right now. Where are we at? Man, Jasmine is taking away from the... so BTC's not doing much, but yeah, Jasmine is skyrocketing. Anything else looking super crazy? Fetch AI moving a little bit. Nothing super wild. Whiffs up 5%. Yeah, I mean, Jasmine is literally the altcoin super runner right now, isn't it? Big 60 in March, bro. Let's make it. Let's just make it this year, yeah? I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Let's just win, right? Let's just win. Let's see what some of the best coins trending today are. Last 24 hours. Jasmine. I mean, look at that. That's insane. Jasmine is the best trending coin out there right now. What else you got? BitTensor. I mean, that's kind of skyrocketing in fairness. That's doing pretty well. Fetch is up 3. I mean, the market's pretty quiet right now, isn't it? If you think about it. Market is definitely pretty quiet. I mean, Juke moving 2% is kind of nice on a day like today. Hyperliquid at 4%. Johnny, what's going on? Win. This is going to be the biggest alt season ever, bro. We're all going to win massive. Let's hope so, man. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Been there, done that, and survived. You will also too, bit. Robert, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Let's hope so, eh? BT going to 98k. Well, I mean, 98k is the point where I would say bull market, go or no go. That's where we get to. So let's hope so, eh? XRP, David Jones in the house. What's going on? Yeah, XRP is about 228 right now. So a little bit of a cool off on XRP, but this pumped way more than the market did yesterday. So, yeah, not the worst thing in the world, in my opinion, but let's hope that we get, let's hope that we get something a bit more substantial, shall we say. That would be great news. That would be great news. Okay, it did yesterday. I mean, it's down a little bit today, 263, but this is what we were saying, you know, if people are going to FOMO these markets hard, they always do, always will. How's virtuals today? Yeah, it's up here, wasn't it? Yeah, third best, another 7%. So people always FOMO these to the max. So, you know, cool-offs like this aren't the bad thing. I think what's interesting is, you know, what BTC's doing. Super volatile right now. Definitely playing some sort of game. XRP will ride again. Dip and rip coming up, methinks. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Yeah, virtuals is looking great. Again, continuing, continue to the upside, which is great. Good. All right, where are we at, man? It's 10:15. Been live for nearly an hour and a half, man. I kind of like these extended live streams. See, this is the thing, by the way. If this was just my job, we could just be live streaming for like 3 hours a day. It'd be epic. Anyway, with that said, let's see where we get to in the markets. Key to look out for it. Obviously, 93,200, let's call it. Sitting pretty there. BTC spots are, we've got a strong bit of liquidity. We could definitely see 94k, though, I think reasonably easy. Breakthrough 93.4, 93.450 with a bit of volume. We could definitely see 94k pretty quickly. I mean, it's not a lot of liquidity. Look at the difference here. You've basically got about 50 Bitcoin between 93.5 and 94k. So definitely not a lot here that could then play out more favorably and certainly could see us a bit more of a push in the markets. 2 CME gaps to fill. So waiting on them to be filled. Yeah, someone asked about CME gaps earlier on, but all right, everybody, that does bring us to the end of the stream. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys 100%. Don't forget, live stream every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK time. Breaking markets down. Look out for some videos. Obviously, we'll have some coming out tomorrow. May even try and get a little cheeky one out later on tonight. But as always, Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys 100%. We're absolutely max sending it this year. So stay locked in. Hit the like and subscribe button. Likewise, if you're here on TikTok as well, don't forget, hit that follow button, then you don't miss out. And yeah, we appreciate it. I appreciate some of you guys, by the way, liking the videos, comment on the videos. It does massively help out the channel. So you guys are amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the outro, and I will see you guys back here, same time, same place, but a different t-shirt tomorrow night. All right. Thank you, B. See you in a bit.